Hello, everybody. Welcome along. My name is Benjamin Bloom. This is the Benjamin Bloom Football Channel. Please leave your bias at the door. And no sooner had the squad been provisionally selected and then reduced from 33 to 26. One warm-up game, and it's going to be an enforced change for Gareth Southgate. So all of our predictions, all of our projections, we're going to have to start all over again as it pertains to one position, because unfortunately, and big commiserations to Liverpool right back Trent Alexander-Arnold, that has just gone up on the England website. Trent has been ruled out of UEFA Euro 2020. Liverpool player sustained a thigh injury in the closing stages of the win last night up at Borough against Austria. We were watching it. I think he took the throw in, he received the ball back, and I don't know what went wrong, but something gave way in his thigh. And dreadful news for Trent, who'd found his way into the squad, having not really been in favour in the lead-up. Gareth Southgate said he let Trent know 3 weeks before that he was going to be in. And now, after one friendly game, he is out. A scan on Thursday confirmed the 22-year-old will be unable to play in the incoming tournament. So he has withdrawn, returned to his club. Here's something interesting though. Gareth Southgate will not confirm a replacement until after Sunday's return to the Riverside for the warm-up fixture against Romania. So it's all very, very up in the air. And note that word after. Immediately after, the next day, I wrote down all the games earlier so I can tell you the dates. So there is still 1 week between the Romania game and the first game against Croatia. So it would be interesting to note when Gareth Southgate replaces Trent. Obviously, it stands to reason that you would get through that last game and see what's happening there. Make sure everyone, fingers crossed, has got a clean bill of health after that. So I suppose we'll hear after everyone's been looked at, maybe on Tuesday, but I'm in guessing games here. Now, let's go really into guessing games, because if Trent is out, who comes in now to replace him? And of course, Trent Alexander-Arnold was one of the many, many right backs in the squad. Obviously, Kieran Trippier played left back. He's one of the right backs still there. Kyle Walker was another one of the right backs. He is obviously going to be arriving. I think he probably is there after the Champions League final. We've seen a few players pictured arriving, haven't we? Reece James in the same bracket. And obviously Trent was the other one, the 4 right backs, 6 full backs in total. So perhaps, and sometimes this is the way for managers, sometimes your mind is made up for you, isn't it? And an injury or something of that nature tells you who you're not going to be selecting. And I think, with all goodwill to Trent Alexander-Arnold, because we don't want to see anyone get injured, we don't want to see anyone's dreams get shattered of playing in a major tournament with their country, but I think there will be quite a number of people who will think that this will now facilitate England having a more balanced squad. And that is, again, with all respect to Trent, and we do wish him well with his recovery. So, we now have 2 left backs, 3 right backs in there. And remember, we're going to be picking from the Southgate 7, basically, those who missed out. So immediately, really, I'm going to cross Mason Greenwood, because he ruled himself out before the squad was even named. I'm going to cross off Aaron Ramsdale, because we don't need 4 goalkeepers, which basically leaves us, it's not Southgate's 7 anymore, it's 1 from 5. James Ward-Prowse, Ben Godfrey, Ollie Watkins, Jesse Lingard, and Ben White. Now, Ben Godfrey and Ben White both made their debuts for England last night, didn't they? And I guess for all of the people saying, maybe reasonably, oh, why are these players who are not being selected involved in this friendly match? Well, this is why now. So, talking about balance, there are only 4 centre-backs, actual bespoke centre-backs, not including Kyle Walker or Reece James, who could cover there, in the squad. We're talking Maguire, Stones, Mings, Cody. So, you could put in a centre-back, which would mean Ben Godfrey or Ben White. Ben White didn't play centre-back when he came on last night, did he? Played in central midfield. Ben Godfrey did come on. He nearly had the horror story of all horror stories and scored an own goal with his first touch. But unfortunately he didn't, and then he looked more assured as things kicked in. Just maybe the shirt weighed him down for the first 30 seconds, a little bit nervous. So it could be one of those two in terms of adding an extra centre-back. Again, I'm sure Gareth Southgate will be looking at Harry Maguire in terms of his thinking, and perhaps if Maguire doesn't get quickly better, it will be one of White and Godfrey. How do you split those two? You tell me. Do you go, if it's Maguire is the concern, do you go with the more left-footed player to cover that side in terms of Ben White? Although you think Tyrone Mings would still be first in that slot with Connor Cody more, you're thinking in the middle of a 3, and John Stones very, very likely now to be the first choice starter given Maguire's fitness. So it could be Godfrey, it could be Ben White. Then there's the central midfielders, isn't there? Where Jude Bellingham did well last night. Declan Rice was substituted off, wasn't he? Then you've got the kind of fit Jordan Henderson and Calvin Phillips as well. So again, here's a scenario. Maguire is slightly more fit than Henderson. You go for James Ward-Prowse then, do you? So we're still in the lap of the gods in terms of the injuries to Maguire or Henderson. One area where the squad is pretty well full is those front attacking positions, which makes me think, even though he's been very good for West Ham, Jesse Lingard, let me throw this up, is possibly the least likely when you consider the embarrassment of riches, if I'm allowed to use that term. Mason Mount, Marcus Rashford, Raheem Sterling, Phil Foden, Jack Grealish, Jadon Sancho, Bukayo Saka, who scored last night as well. I think for that reason, in terms of balancing up the squad, Lingard is least likely. But hey, he's very, very well liked by Southgate, very well liked by the squad, and played very well for West Ham. Speaking of balance, Ollie Watkins would be one of, well, there's only basically 2 bespoke strikers, as in Harry Kane and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Look, Rashford could play up there. Sterling at a push as well, maybe Sancho. But you could put in Watkins to balance them up. So look, you're going to need to tell me in the comments, who would you put in for Trent Alexander-Arnold? Would it be Ben Godfrey or Ben White in respects of get another centre-back in there? And we're kind of assuming that's going to be based on something we don't know, which is how fit is Harry Maguire. Is there a need for a central midfielder? We didn't see Jordan Henderson. I thought we were going to see him off the bench last night, but we did not see Jordan Henderson last night. So maybe you go with James Ward-Prowse. I appreciate you, everybody don't know how fit Henderson and Maguire are. You'd assume Henderson is fitter than Maguire, but then maybe Maguire had a couple more days because he would have been at the Europa League final with Manchester United. I do honestly think Lingard is the least likely, I have to say, to come in terms of balance. And then do you pop Ollie Watkins in there so you've got an extra striker? And let's be fair, Watkins he was back in the Exeter Brentford days there, playing off the left and coming in and supporting Calvert-Lewin last night. Look, I think well, let me give my opinion, and we're all speculating and we're all guessing, so please give it the respect it deserves in the comments. I know that won't happen, but there you go. So I think if Southgate wanted 3 strikers, he would have picked Watkins already, and I think he's happy over there. And I also don't think he'll pick Lingard. So for me, it's either James Ward-Prowse if Henderson's the less fit, or it's one of White and Godfrey, and I can't separate them. Maybe I'll just go Ben White ahead of Ben Godfrey, just purely on the basis of Ben White's played central midfield for England and in the Premier League for Brighton. Yes, I'm aware Ben Godfrey played for Shrewsbury in central midfield, but it's not England or Brighton in the Premier League. So, look, I think it's between Ben White and James Ward-Prowse. But I'm going to plead the fifth because I don't know how fit Jordan Henderson and Harry Maguire are. Look, give me your views in the chat. See if you can be a bit more concise than me. One name, who comes in for Trent. And again, big commiserations to Trent Alexander-Arnold. Get well soon. But one man's door closing is another's door swinging wide open. Who is going to walk through that door? Let me know. I think I'm down to Ben White or James Ward-Prowse. And I think we're going to find out on Tuesday after the Romania game. Please, let's not have anyone else get injured. And let's be fair, a player has got injured in a position in the squad where we're very, very strong with Still, Reece James, Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, all available to play that position. So there we go. Let me know what you think. I've had my say, now you have yours. Of course, England-wise, we will be back for the Romania game Sunday at 5. Please, and I'm talking to you, Harry Kane and John Stones, don't get injured against Romania, where you think we're really starting to struggle if one of those guys isn't going to make the first game. But fingers crossed, positivity. Let me know who you're replacing Trent Alexander-Arnold with, and see you on Sunday for the Romania game. Over and out.